So good morning to everyone. Today our group would like to have a short analyzation on a video regarding how Malaysia wrestled away from the grip of colonialism, or as we say, how Malaysia actually gained independence from the British. So we're going to find out some primary sources and secondary sources of information. So first of all, let's take a look at the video. To put it in short, this video is actually about the emergence of Tunku Abdul Rahman that actually gave a silver lining to the struggle of Malayan nationalists when his actions of forming the Alliance Party had started to open the eyes of British to allow the Malayans to govern their own country. So the unity between the three major ethnic groups, namely the Malays, the Chinese, and the Indians, led to the London Agreement that was signed on 8 February of 1956. And this had given signs that Malaya will achieve independence on 31st of August 1957. So upon returning from London after signing the agreement, Tunku Abdul Rahman actually made a declaration of independence of Malaya in Padang Bandar Hilir, Malacca on 20th of February in 1956. However, it was unofficial. So on the actual day, which is 31st of August in 1957, an unofficial ceremony organized by the Alliance, people had gathered at the Selangor Padang to witness the lowering of the Union Jack. So when the clock at the tower of the Selangor Secretariat building struck 12, the British flag, as we know as the Union Jack, was lowered and Tunku Abdul Rahman shouted Merdeka 7 times, and the crowd also joined in enthusiastically. So that's a brief summary of how Malaysia gained its independence. So moving on to the next slide. Okay, so as we can see in this next slide, it actually shows a video of Tunku Abdul Rahman when on the first day where Malaysia gained independence. So according to this video, we consider it as a primary source of information because this is an actual footage of Tunku actually shouting Merdeka 7 times at Dataran Merdeka as we know it today. So according to definition, it's a primary source because this is an actual footage that has not been reinterpreted and shows the actual representation of the condition and the actual situation where Tunku actually declared independence.
So in this slide, this is an example of the secondary sources based on the video. On this slide, a Malaysian history professor, Shakira Yaakob, commented on the unfinished business of Malaysian decolonization based on her analysis. Okay, on the next slide. So on the next slide, there's a picture of Tunku Abdul Rahman written from London. This is a primary source based on the video.
So next, this is a government record, which is Malayan Declaration of Independence. So this is basically a primary source because this is how historian to analyze what happened at the day of declaration when the declaration of independence happened in Malaysia. So next. Okay, so next is Dataran Merdeka. Dataran Merdeka is the primary source of information because Dataran Merdeka is where it happened, the event happened at the past when Tunku Abdul Rahman say independence. Yes.
In this slide, we see about the buku teks sejarah tingkatan 5, and this is secondary sources because some of the author of the textbook interpret prescribed theories of the topic and before it helps the student to understand of the said topic based on the perspective, interpretation, and from the multiple aspects of the said issue. Next. And the last slide is about the newspaper. We consider the newspaper is a primary sources because newspaper article is written about the specific event immediately after its occurrence. It helps someone to construct knowledge when they form the conclusion based on the construed fact and evidence.
So that's all from us. Thank you.